Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of October 2014 General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, you've got Mars in your sign for pretty much the whole month. And Mars actually entered your sign last month, late last month, and will carry forward this momentum and this energy, and especially in the early part of the month, in some really powerful ways. Now, I will talk about this more in the love-focused horoscope, but when I look at your sky from a general perspective as to what is going on, we've got Mars in your sign, energizing you, helping you to take ownership for whatever it is that you desire to change in your life. And where it is that the work or your work is to accept, then you do work that, you do implement that. Where it is that your work is to actually take action, you are willing to do that. There is that clarity, there is that appreciation to say, okay, this is what I can do to change my circumstance, so I'm going to do it. This is something that really I don't have any power to change, or I can only change this much. I can only go this far. I can only do this much. The rest I'm going to have to surrender. You have that clarity and that ability to actually do that action of surrender, to actually be in that state of spirit. That is the great blessing of Mars. Mars ultimately says, whatever you want, move towards it. Take responsibility for what you can do and then actually do it. Keep yourself busy doing it. The thing with Mars energy is if you are not owning this Mars energy, then it can turn in on itself and it can make you, or not make you do anything. Actually, it's a symbol, right? It's a mirror. What's happening in the sky is a mirror to what's happening with us on levels of spirit, on levels of mind. And so with Mars in your sign, if you are working with this energy, this can be a time of huge empowerment and huge breakthroughs. If you're not working with this energy, this can be a time of frustration that you end up projecting onto other people, but that might not actually be the reality of the situation. And so other people might irritate you more. You might set yourself up to have, little passionate discussions that really are missing the point. And the point is to accept where you are and move yourself in a direction that you want to be. But I don't think that this whole idea of the frustration factor, I don't think that's actually going to be so dominant. And the reason I say that is because in the early part of the month, we have Mars setting up a rare and very fortunate configuration between Uranus in fellow fire sign Aries and Pluto in fellow fire sign Leo. And so these planets are setting up a supremely harmonious configuration called a grand trine in fire. And just like it sounds, it is a lot of fire energy, a lot of passionate energy, a lot of embodied energy as well. That's saying change, right? Uranus, in some cases, surprising change. And it's also saying believe as well, which is Jupiter. Believe, have hope, expand, be more than you've known yourself to be before. Then you add to this the element of an eclipse taking place in the early part of the month, which activates this very fortunate configuration in the sky. And it does suggest added power and added meaning to all these themes that this grand trine in fire represent. Now, again, I will talk about this more in the love-focused horoscope. However, for the general-focused horoscope, you are looking at ultimately what's going to make you happy, what's going to make you feel fulfilled, what it is that ultimately you need to do to feel like you are on a path of self-actualization. There's an element here of fertility as well. And so this can be a time when you may find yourself surprisingly pregnant, okay, when you've got this type of eclipse taking place with Uranus. I do think if that's something that you want, this can be a time of huge breakthroughs for you If that is not something you want, or if you're not sure and it happens, then I think that there's sort of a positive energy flowing you forward. If that's not something that you want, of course, you can take precautions to manifest this energy in different ways, which ultimately is creative energy and creation energy. And so this can be a time when you're feeling especially creative and you realize what it is that you want to give your love to, what it is that you want to nourish, so that you can then give birth and share it to the world. Share this project very near and dear to your heart. With this particular eclipse taking place and with this particular configuration taking place, there's also an element here, I gotta say, there's an element here that has to do with gambling and taking risks. And so, I am one, and I know I've said this before, but I'm very much of the belief that each of us has a lottery ticket within us. Each of us has something within us that we can bet on, that asks us to trust it and to take a risk in support of it, that can lead us to a life that truly feels rewarding and fulfilling on every level. I believe that very strongly. And this is your chance, or this is one more opportunity that the universe is going to give you to get in touch with that voice. And so whatever that lottery ticket is for you is likely to show itself to you. And it's going to be the thing that lights you up. It's going to be the thing that gives you energy. It's going to be the thing that gives you juice, that makes you feel excited, that makes you burst with ideas. It's going to be that thing. Now, of course, with gambling and taking a risk, there's the practical element to that as well. And I gotta say, I'm just going to put it out there that yes, it would be a really good time for you to buy a lottery ticket, or to otherwise place a bet, a literal bet. However, I say that with one precaution, and I always say this, always. Never bet more than you are comfortable losing. And what I mean by that is, when you are placing a bet of any kind, whether it's on yourself or on your talent or a literal bet in a game, ultimately what you want to do is you want to come at it with an energy of abundance in order to give yourself the best chance to win. And if you are betting more than you have to lose, then you're already coming at it from a place of fear. You're setting up an energy that says, oh my God, this has to happen, and I can't lose this, and I can't lose that. And that's not a good place to be in. You don't want to be in that place where you're feeling lack as you approach an opportunity to make a huge gain, to go from rags to riches in some way, however small, in some way. You don't want to set up that type of energy. Rather, what you want to do is you want to come at whatever it is that you're doing with a sense of play, with a sense of joy, with a sense of openness, and then it will be whatever it is that it needs to be. But having said that, yes, you might be wise to actually buy a literal lottery ticket as well in the early part of the month. But keep in mind, you are your own lottery ticket. You are your greatest lottery ticket, and you're the bet that's worth placing. Or you are the one who is worth placing a bet on, rather. With that understanding, with knowing that there is something within you that you can trust, something within you that can lead you to experience greater prosperity, whether that's emotional prosperity or literal prosperity, you're set yourself up very nicely to experience a windfall.